One, we have not had any governor that is Esan. That has affected us. Two, we have had governors who believe that in the political equation of Edo State, Esan land is not really important. That has been another issue. And I've said to many people that the Esan politician needs to understand that they are Esan first. If you can understand that you are Esan first, whether you are APC or PDP or AMPP or whatever, will not matter to you. But we forget that before politics, we were. And so if we can decide to have an Esan policy first that is common across the board, that we can use as political leverage. Once we can do that to work on the brotherhood, to use that as a stepping stone for political leverage, we are going to get more dividends of democracy coming to Esan land. Currently, because we are so divided, our votes are split, we are at war with each other politically, we have been unable to form a synergy that is forceful enough to become a determining factor in the political sorting in Edo State. So until we can ensure that we all speak as one, first of all as brothers, as Esan people, before we start asking ourselves which religion or which political party do we belong to, we will never be able to pull down the dividend of democracy to Esan land. We also need, as an Esan people, to start to work to make sure that the next government of Edo State comes from Esan land. This has to be an agenda, I think, that is uppermost in everybody's mind. And I speak my mind to people about this issue. Forget whether you are PDP or APC. Esan land has been marginalized for so long. And again, I'm speaking objectively. And anybody can, bring me the book, and I'm prepared to answer this anytime. We have been marginalized politically, where we are not even talking about when we are having to even negotiate whether an Esan man should be the next governor. It is without doubt that the next governor should be Esan. Where in Esan that person comes from is neither here nor there. So every Esan man has to start to, Esan man and woman have to go onto this thing now to say, listen, politics, governor must come from Esan. Let us in Esan fight and decide where it's going to come from. But it must be a given, because we keep losing out on this thing. It is our turn, that is without doubt. Whether we're going to get it is another thing, because we continuously get told that in the scheme, we're not ready to keep suffering this thing. And a lot of our people are prepared to sell their birthright. I'm proud to say, grown men and women, what firms are prepared to mortgage themselves and sell this position that is meant for Esan land. And again, it's testament to the type of individualistic greed and misdirection some of our political leaders have been suffering for a long time. Poverty of mind, people who are very rich but poor in spirit. So I beg God to touch their hearts so that they will begin to think the right way for the generality, for the collective. How can you be happy if your brother and sister is suffering? The wide in the class is so wide. You are either doing very well, you are in the low class, or you are doing, you are chopping sand. So the divide between the have and the have not for quite some time. Esan land has been marginalized. We are considered almost irrelevant in the political scheme of things. Based on the amount of votes we are told that we have to offer in any gubernatorial election, that between the three senatorial districts, Edo South, Edo Central, and Edo North, that Edo Central, which is Esan land, is not a determinant in the political structure or in the formula that creates a winning. So we have had successive governors that have not been from Edo Central, and for that reason, The people believe that once Edo South and Edo North, their votes are secured, Esan really is not that relevant. And the reason why I think this has been happening is because our politicians in Edo Central have not held as most important, first of all, their origin. If they can understand that where they come from is more important than the political party they belong to, I think Esan land will begin to feature more prominently in the scheme of things. So my recommendation is that the leaders, political leaders in Esan land, have to understand that what is uppermost now is where they come from, and that there should be a synergy across political lines to ensure that the next governor of Edo State comes from Esan land, because it is our turn. And I'm not being emotional or sentimental. I'm being very objective. It is now back to our turn. And since the time of Ojomoh and Ambrose Ali, nothing fundamentally has really happened in this land in terms of government presence. And I think that happens because you don't have an Esan man at the helm of affairs. It's natural. When we are tribalistic. So if you have somebody who's from the East and is president of Nigeria, be sure that there will be a lot of development in the East. So if you have a governor that's from Edo State, that's from Esan land, be sure that Esan land will have a lot of government attention. And we need it. We are due for it. So I think this is really the agenda, right? For the Esan man and the Esan woman to come together across party lines to say, look, you know what? This is really our turn. And we are going to fight. We will not compromise. We will not sell ourselves.
This is very important, the conversation. A couple of days ago, I did some interview here because there are some Africans who are also standing as candidate here in the city where I am, in Verona, in the local council. So at the point, I see that a lot of them are there are even many, that I ask the question, what number do you have at disposition? Are you able to win? Because if all of you are going to, if you are split, a lot of you are in this small city where less than 300,000 inhabitants in the whole of the city, and the Africans that are here, it's not that there are very many, and the people that can vote, they are not really even that much, because you need to have citizenship here before you can vote. Other one put into place. If you have a lot of people that are standing as candidates, it means you are just split and you're not going to win for anything. Because since politics is a question of number and also of strategy, you need to ask yourself, who is going to better represent us? Then we are going to forget the party and look for our interests. Then we vote that individual in so that we will have a representative at the end of the day. So bringing this argument to Esan people, because we're not like 100 people. I think statistics say we are between 1 to 1.5 million people in Edo State.
Yeah.
Come on, that is a huge number. Don't you think that number can work out something?
My brother, we have the numbers. The problem is, do we have the will? I often say to people here, even like when I talk about southern Nigerian politicians, that we are often ready to eat the crumbs that fall off our own table. I'm not saying eat the crumbs that fall off other people's table. The crumbs that fall off our own table. We own the table. We own the food, but we are begging for the crumbs. That is the problem we have. And in Edo Central, Edo Senatorial District, the Esan people, I often think this is the problem that we also have, is that in chasing our own personal and individual aspirations, we have lost track of the greater goal. So most of our politicians are so hell-bent on just what they need, what they must have, what they should have. They, me. The me syndrome. Why don't we do an us, we? And if we try an us, we syndrome situation, I think we will begin to see the lot of the Esan man and woman improve. We have so far we have proven ourselves to be very self-centered and individualistic.